I just got that delivered today, Friday Parts, and it is a new starter for this machine. I just got everything wet, and I'm about to, well, I sprayed Simple Green on everything, but I kind of want to show you why I'm changing the starter. Uh-oh. Hang on, let me find the key. The way it's, listen to the starter. Alright, you think it's a dead battery, right? But if I just keep running, if I keep doing that, it'll eventually start. So let's go get... Alright, just gonna hammer, tap on the starter a few times and see if it makes a difference. See if that did anything. See what I mean? So it does it all the time. It sounds like a dead battery, and then you turn it over, and it turns over real slow. Then it starts to speed up a little faster, a little faster, a little faster, and then it fires off. I've been doing that for like, I don't know, 6 months. Every time I start the thing, I just turn the key and it'll eventually start. But now that the weather's getting colder, I gotta change out that starter. So it's a cheap Chinese starter. That one is too. It's probably the same one. But first thing I'm gonna do is just unhook the battery cable, and we'll get that starter out. So let's get that going. Just the main power wire. That's a little melted, but that's from holding the key on too long. And then the trigger wire is that green wire. Trigger wire just goes on the solenoid, and then the power wire just goes on the other leg. Got an audience watching me. So far it looks the same. Yeah, I don't know about these starters. I mean, I have a Takeuchi dealer that's freaking 2 miles from my house, but they couldn't give me a starter. They could order it, but it was several hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But yeah, this looks like the same, except for some chrome. Yeah, that might have been chrome. All right, let's go stick this in the hole and see what we got. Yeah, mini excavators are really kind of a pain to work on, but I'll tell you what, this thing so far, and if you've seen my older videos, I've had this thing far apart. The heads on it, you know, put a new head on it and stuff. It's for access, it hasn't been too horrible. Luckily the cab comes up, and I'll tell you, when I did the head on this thing, I gotta look, but I don't remember. I must have had the cab up, but I didn't have this cross piece out, I don't think, which would have made it way easier to do if I had it off, but I must have had the cab up though. Where are you? Okay. Where are you? Oh, I'm not even in the hole. That's fine. There we go. Alright, so these bolts are 17 millimeter, and the bolt, the nut holding on the wiring harness is 13 mil, and then the jumper or the trigger wire is just a spade end, or spade on the starter, and a female end on the wire. Somebody's beeping at me. Who's that? Al. Frickin' Al. So as you can see, changing the starter on this machine is really just not a big deal at all. Hopefully I can get this wire on. Alright. Washer. Nut. Should have, well, we'll see in a second here, but I probably should have cleaned that connection. All right. Oh. All right. That's it. That's it. You can see these wires are all burnt. Now, in my defense, they were pretty burnt when I got the machine. But I should really go through and clean and replace some of those ends. But let me go put the battery cable on and see what this does. Any luck, it'll turn over faster. Where'd the key go? I lost the key again. Why do I keep losing the key? I'll be back. Oh, here it is. Okay. Alright, so diesels, as you know, need to spin over pretty quickly to start. So, you know, I'm gonna take that wire off again and just clean the end and spray some dielectric grease on it and then put it back together. Because when this cab is down, oh, look at that, I could probably change that out. That'd probably be a big help. When the cab is down, water can get down through this crack here. And as you can see, the starter's right below it. So you can get condensation and water and stuff on the starter. I'm going to look into getting another one of these things here, because that should fill up that gap right there. But in the meantime, let's just get that wire back off and clean it up with a wire wheel and get it back on. So I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done with it. Alright, well, I got the dielectric grease on the connector there. Just a quick dirty starter change. Looks like you can do it right out in the field. 2 wrenches. That's it. No big deal. What else do I got going on? So I got a stick holding the hood up because that one's missing and that one is not doing the trick. This cab is heavy, heavy, heavy. And those 4 aren't doing the trick. Took everything I had to lift this cab up. So I'm going to see if I can source those. Another thing is you can see this hose hanging here. that goes to my fan for my heater and air conditioner, and goes to the front, right where that plastic thing is, and it goes up through that hole right there. And then on the end of this thing here, it goes up in here, and then there should be like a adjustable vent thing up there. So I need to get a piece of this hose here and replace it from there down to there, and then I will have heat again. Well, I do have heat, but it comes out of here, but I want it to come up through there. And then I think from the back of that thing, there's the one that goes up to here, and the one that goes on the bottom of, no, I think that one's fine. That one's fine. Yeah, that one's fine over there. I think where it crosses over here is broken. It's under the seat. So I got to get a length of that hose and just start replacing all these things. And that way I can have heat and AC through the whole cab, which is good. What else do I got to do? This thing here, I pulled out of a lawnmower because the lid was missing on the old one, or on this box. So I'm going to try to source that again. This thing here, I don't know what's going on. There's some loose parts here and there, but for the most part, when the machine runs good, I'll probably put I don't even know if I filmed this. If I film this, I'll put it in, but this is super simple. Just this plate is those two bolts. I had to take off this. Oh, look at that. That's not on there. Okay, tighten that. I had to take this cover off here to get to those two bolts. Just pulling the hose off, this was still in the way. So get those two bolts off, this slid off. All four of those hoses just pop back on, and I got rid of the leak. The dipstick, is loose, and this motor has a little bit of blow by, so I want to go ahead and get a new one of those because the rubber on there gets hard, brittle. I get a new one of those, plug that hole up a little better, because you'll get a drip every once in a while coming out of there. This bottle is ruined. Well, the lid is ruined. I don't know if I can just get the lid, but I got to fix that. And then the major thing that I got going on with this thing is the water pump pulley. That down there where the belt is, I need to get a smaller diameter pulley. Man, that looks like the small one already though. I have to look into that because I have an issue with this machine that it gets warm when it's 75 degrees outside or higher. I can run this thing for about an hour and a half, maybe an hour if it's up towards 80, and the gauge will start to creep up to the hot side. I never let it get to the red. I let it get right almost to the red, and then as soon as I let go of the controls, the gauge starts coming back down slowly, but it starts coming back down because the hydraulic fluid rolling through the machine and antifreeze and everything, that water pump and fan just don't have enough to keep everything cool. So as soon as you release the hydraulics, everything starts to cool down and it's fine. And then after about 3-4 minutes, you could use it for another 20 minutes, half an hour. But obviously I don't want to do that. So one of the tricks I heard is they sell a smaller diameter water pump pulley, so that means it'll spin faster. Closer you get to the middle of the shaft with a belt, it spins faster. It's kind of like a bicycle chain on a bike. So with that being done, the water pump will spin faster and the fan will spin faster, and supposedly it's supposed to pull a little bit more cooler air through the system and cool everything off. I've already gone through the radiator. I've already gone through the hydraulic oil heat exchanger and the air conditioning condenser, or whatever you call that. These were all sitting out. I've blown through them with pressure washer, and I didn't flush the oil cooler because I was going to, but when I replaced the pickup screen at the bottom of this tank, it was 100% spotless. Super clean. The oil was clean, the screen was clean, filter was good. Well, I replaced the filter, but everything was good. So I don't really think that there is any sediment or any goo inside of that cooler. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think there is. So I think the issue that I'm having is it's just not getting cool enough, and I'm hoping that maybe it's that water pump pulley. So that is the biggest thing on the item that I need to replace, and then everything else is just going through things, tightening things like that hose clamp, just getting everything tightened up and putting this thing back to work. Order one of these, and yeah, we're good. So that's going to do it for this one. If you could, please rate, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.